So, good morning, Thomas. Thank you very much for this kind invitation. It's a pleasure for me to present some thoughts about safe positioning, which is a topic in modular stem prosthesis of the hip. So, modularity is attractive, as you know, and there are two main reasons that are promoting modularity in total hip arthroplasty. The first one is the ambition to restore individual biomechanics of the patient in order to get an optimal function of the joint. And the second one is that the surgeon can have the choice for the optimal material in order to get an optimal performance and longevity. Well, there is a lesson from the past concerning material. You won't see broken shafts like this one. Oops. Doesn't work. Like this one, because forging of the shaft has rendered superior in comparison to casting. So casting was abandoned in early years, and forging has become the current standard. The next lesson was that producing the prosthesis head separately from the shaft opens more options for design and material and choices for the head. On one hand, the diameter and neck length can be adapted, as you see on the left. How does it work, the pointer? Okay. No. And secondly, we make our choices for the most suitable material regarding tribology aspects. And third, in revision cases, exchanging the used head is much more easier or even possible compared to the monoblock. So modular prosthesis heads have become the standard method nowadays. For the socket, modularity is standard as well. You see that we can have the choice, especially for the prosthesis of the socket, for the material of the socket, and such, again, tribology aspects are involved. In revision hip surgery, modular stems have become accepted since several years. And you know that they help in a much more versatile way to restore leg length and version of the neck. Now we see the advent of modular stems in primary total hip arthroplasty. And this is the type of prosthesis we are talking about today. The main and presumably the ultimate reason for demanding such stems is what literally means restoring the relationship of the major trochanter with respect to the center of the prosthesis. That is, we are adjusting the center of the prosthesis head. This has direct implications on offset, leg length, neck version, soft tissue balance, range of motion, gluteal muscle strength, stability, gait, and so on. The list is not complete. All these parameters have an impact on functional biomechanics. So in essence, restoring femoral head center of the head means that you are restoring favorable hip biomechanics. Up to now, restoring hip biomechanics often means restoring the center of the acetabulum only. But this is only one half of the solution. In order to restore the complete biomechanics of the hip, we must restore the center of the femoral head as well in order to get good muscular function. Restoring the head center means restoring soft tissue balance. A modular stem for primary total hip arthroplasty therefore means a modular neck, still keeping the modular head. These modular necks differ in length, CCD angle, and built-in anti-torsion. So a number of varying head centers results, giving us all the options for adjusting the prosthesis head center to the individual anatomy. The built-in flexibility to adjust the version of the neck intraoperatively was pointed out by these authors. They used this flexibility in 25 to 70% of their cases intraoperatively, and the restoration of the biomechanics could better achieved with a modular than with a non-modular stem, as Archie Beck reported. But there are concerns about this new technique. There are potential advantages for the modularity, but there are also dangers. There is a number of papers reporting concerns about the additional interface that may cause additional subsequent complications like micromotion, fretting corrosion, metal debris, disassembling, loosening, dislocation, and fracture. And you know, there is also the cost issue. These papers report on problems on modularity in total hip prosthesis. And as you can see, fracture of the modular neck is among the most common reasons for mechanical failure. Nowadays, total hip arthroplasty has reached a very high standard. It is probably the most successful operation worldwide, and the room for additional benefit gets more and more narrow. And we are aware that we are approaching the perfect hip arthroplasty today. So we have to acknowledge that even meticulous, stepwise introduction of an innovation into orthopedic surgery may lead to unforeseen effects, as reported by Hendrik Malko in the recent months. And we should keep in mind, as Professor Morsche said, that today's innovation may be the failure of tomorrow. So keeping that in mind, we should go in medias res.
Thank you, Karl, and we shall continue with the second lecture, safe positioning in hip arthroplasty. Discussion we will make after this whole block.
So, safe positioning in hip arthroplasty. Oops. We know that even thinking about is not achieving the goal we have. So now we have to work on this topic. And if we want to restore the biomechanics much better with modular implants, we should learn how to achieve this goal. Safe positioning of the components is one aspect, and I underline it's only one aspect of this goal. Safe positioning means that you are orientating the components of the total hip arthroplasty according to the safe zone. So my talk will be divided in three parts. The first one gives you the rationale and the background of what is called the safe zone in total hip arthroplasty. In the second part, I will demonstrate what combined orientation of the component means. And in the third one, I will give you some example on how this can be transferred into the surgical field and made available during surgery. What are the goals of positioning the components in the safe zone? Yes?
Pardon, I think it's not the lecture.
It's not the lecture,
yeah. Please give them the second lecture. Prosím, změňte na druhou přednášku, to je první. Děkuji.
Oh, I'm sorry.